In this special episode of Flea Market Rescue, we're going to celebrate Valentine's Day. So in this episode, we're going to take 5 thrift store items and turn it into beautiful home decor that you can decorate your house with. And I'm even going to throw in a bonus project because what is Valentine's Day without a little garland? So if you're ready to dive into this week's projects, then let's do this. Just a quick note before we get started though, if you're new to my channel, I just want to welcome you. My name's Kelly Sherry. My mom and I do a lot of vintage markets. I show you how to take thrifted items and turn it into beautiful home decor. I post a new video every week, so if you subscribe to my channel and ring the bell, you'll get notified every time I post a new video. So you ever feel like you have more time than what you do? You're like, yeah, I can get that all done. Yeah, so that's me trying to finish up all these projects so I can put the video together. So if this is late, I am so sorry. I really had good intentions of this being on time. Anyway, let's get on to our first project. So when I was at the thrift store, I found this bird. I love it. It was only $2.99. And it's actually from Party Light, I guess. All right, anyway, I also found this candlestick, which is pretty cool too. And I think that was $2.99, but it was half off today, so $1.50. Anyway, we are gonna, I actually like it like this, and I'm gonna glue the bird on top. First though, I want this all to look the same, so I'm gonna paint this white, and then we'll glue it on top. So let's do that right now. So I'm just gonna paint this white. What's nice is it's black underneath, so when we go to distress it, you're gonna see all that great black underneath. Okay, so we are just gonna let that dry up a bit, and then we'll glue these two pieces together, the bird and the pedestal. Okay, so this is now dry. I'm just gonna take a little piece of sandpaper to it and distress around the edges. Now that it's distressed, we put the bird on top. It's gonna be super cute, but we need to glue it together. So I am using some epoxy here. This is called Gorilla Glue epoxy. It's a 2-part epoxy. It dries like super hard. You don't have to worry about anything breaking. So you just wanna squirt a little onto your paper. It's 2 parts, like I said, and you mix them with like a toothpick. Just mix the 2 parts together. And then we're gonna put a little of this on the bottom of our bird. To glue our bird in place. All right, that looks pretty good to me. I am just gonna let this dry. And there you have it. I love this bird. I think it's so cute, and it was such a simple project. I found this frame on our last thrifting trip. I don't know if you remembered it or not. Yeah, it's really nothing special, but I had plans for it. So I started this project by using an IOD mold. I made some hearts for this as well as a few other projects that we're going to be doing in a few minutes here. So the first thing we have to do is get this house off of here.
And I'm just trying to get a little of that glue off that clip. Next, I'm just going to take a little sandpaper and try to get the words family off of here, just because it's raised up a little. I don't want to be able to see it through the paint. Next, we're going to take a little of this petticoat pink that I have from DIY, and we're going to paint the whole black part of this frame. Now that we have that done, we're going to take our heart that we made from the IOD mold and we're going to paint that in petticoat pink as well. And we're just going to let both of those dry.
Okay, so this is completely dry now. We did it in the petticoat pink. We also did a heart, and we're just going to hot glue that on there. But before we do that, we're going to take a little of this Sweet Annie. I still have a little left, and we're going to put some behind here. So I just ripped a little piece off, and we're going to glue it. So I'm just going to put a little glue on the back of this Sweet Annie. We're going to glue it to behind here. Actually, you know what? I think I need to break it off a little bit more, because we don't want it hanging too far off. I have another piece that's gonna go. Doesn't that look heavenly? It's so cute. I love this Sweet Annie. It's good for so many things. Remember, when you go to Springfield, you have to get your Sweet Annie.
I bought some Sweet Annie, which smells great.
Karma, there's Sweet Annie over here. Okay, now that that's on there, we're going to glue our heart right behind it.
So I added a picture of my husband and I to the frame, and I think it's the perfect Valentine's Day frame. Now, if you remember in the last thrifting video, I fawned this and I didn't care what I had to pay for it. I wanted it. I loved the detail in it, and I just fell in love with the look of it. So since then, I found out this is a Crown Royal bottle that has been painted. So to do this project, you're going to want to get one Crown Royal bottle. If you can't find that, get something that's kind of similar, something that has a little detail. You can find it at the flea market or maybe in the glass aisle at the thrift store.
I have our bottle. I sprayed it one more time because it just wasn't covered real good. And we're going to put one of these French decals on here. So I'm just going to peel that off, the protective coating. And you're just going to cut all the way around as close as you can, leaving about 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch. And we're going to peel the backing off. These are very delicate, so be very careful.
Then you're going to want to place it right in the center and then just smooth it out with your fingers. Now, if you remember earlier, I said that we made hearts from IOD molds. I'm just going to show you quickly how I did that.
Okay, so I have this magic sculpt here, and we're gonna make some hearts with this. It's a 2-part epoxy resin. You mix equal parts of these together, and then it becomes really hard once it dries. We are gonna use the IOD mold here, this one here. I love this mold because it has the rooster, it has the bunny, and we are gonna use the large heart out of there. So I'm gonna mix some of this up, and we're gonna make 3 large hearts, and then I would like to make maybe 2 or 3 of these medium ones. So you just wanna take 1 part of this hardener here, like that. Now I'm wearing gloves because this here is very sticky. You know, until you get it mixed, I like to wear gloves because as you can see, this would have been all over my hands. So just wear gloves until you get it mixed. Anyway, I have a little bit of this hardener, and now I'm going to take a little bit you want to mix 2 equal parts. So I'm going to push them together, and then you're just going to twist them. And then once you don't see any more of this gray and the whole thing's white, then you know you mixed it properly. Now the reason I love Magic Sculpt is because it is so durable. Like, it dries so hard and I don't have to worry about the pieces at all. I mainly use it because of furniture applique, because you know, furniture can get knocked around and stuff, and you don't want your pieces being broken with maybe like an air dry clay. So that's why I like Magic Sculpt. And you just want to keep doing it till you don't see any more of this gray. There's just a teeny bit left. So you always want to cornstarch your mold when you're using this Magic Sculpt because it can be quite sticky. So I have a little cornstarch on a stencil brush, and I'm just going to kind of cornstarch the mold, that the pieces that we're going to use. Just dump out the excess here. And then we're just going to start to put little pieces in here. Now, one of the viewers had told me that you can pop these into the freezer for 10 to 15 minutes and your pieces will just slide right out. So that was an awesome tip. I've tried it before and it works like a charm. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so I've taken our mold out of the freezer and we're just gonna, oh, look how easy that comes out. Oh, see, you guys give the greatest tips. So we're gonna make a few of these, but you know what I wanna do? I want to make a little hole right here so that we can put some wire in there. So I'm gonna take this old XOXO knife that has a lot of clay built up on it, and I'm just gonna make a little hole right here just by twisting that. So if you can see that, there's a little hole. We'll make it a little bigger. Just enough for some wire to go through there. Awesome. So it's freezing cold, but this needs to dry, and I'm gonna make a few more. Now, if you remember, we made all these yesterday and we let them dry, so they're nice and rock hard. And now we're gonna paint them. I have these two colors by Folk Art. We're gonna like mix and match them. So let's paint these right now.
So we're just going to let these dry, and while we're waiting for that, we're going to take a branch outside and we're going to spray it gold. We're going to take some of this Krylon metallic gold leaf paint and we're going to spray this entire branch. And yes, that is snow that you see on my old deck. Like I said in the last Trash to Treasure, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. So we're just going to paint this entire branch. I love this color. I think it looks the best out of all the gold paints that I've seen. So I'm going to flip this over and then we're going to paint the other side and then we're going to let that dry. I painted 2 branches when I was out there because we are going to use another branch in another project.
So these are painted gold, and we're just going to add a little of this glitter glass here to it. We're going to apply that by using some Mod Podge. So I'm just going to a little Mod Podge on the branches here, and then we're going to sprinkle a little of that glitter glass on there, and it's just going to give it a nice shimmery effect. Okay, so I'm going to take a little of the glitter glass. I'm going to do it over a piece of paper so that I can put it back. This stuff is pretty expensive. Okay, that looks nice and sparkly.
Now our hearts are dry, but I just want to go over this with a little watered down burgundy because this will give us another variation in color. These are coming out just a little too dark, so I'm going to wipe it off and then I'm going to add a little more water to my brush, and this should be the perfect color. After those dried, I decided, you know what, the small one needs to be light pink. We need 2 light pink ones. So you got it, I changed it back. So I've cut little pieces of wire and we're just going to stick that through the hole of our hearts. I'm going to snip this with wire snips so we have a smaller piece. Then I'm just going to twist this to close the opening. And then we will also trim the excess off with those wire snips again. And then we're just going to kind of position that wire.
So we're just going to take a little piece of jute here and we're going to tie it around these so that they can hang. Alright, so we put our transfer decal on the crown bottle, and we painted this gold and put some of that glitter glass on here. Now if I put this in here, I just feel like this is a little too big, so I'm just going to cut a little more of this off just to make it sit a little bit lower. Okay, so let's put that in there. Yeah, that's sitting a little more where I wanted it to. Now we've made all our little decorations here, which we're going to hang off of here.
And you know me, I always got to finish with a hang tag. And by the way, the new Valentine's hang tags are now out. Better late than never, right? All right, you've seen this beaded garland in the last couple pictures. Now I'm going to show you how to put it together. All right, if you guys remember, last time I had a whole package that I bought at Meijer's. Well, they were sold out, so I had to get the smaller one and then the bigger one here. And we are going to make a Valentine, nope, not Valentine, Valentine, am I saying that right? Valentine, oh my God, I can't even say it. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. So we're just going to paint these up. I'm going to do them just randomly. We're going to use my Petticoat Pink paint by DIY. And then we're also going to use this Folk Art Barn Red. So let's do that now. Now someone in the comments had said put it in a Cool Whip jar or like container and paint them that way. That sounds great, but I don't have one, so I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. That's what I love. You guys give such great tips in the comments. If you haven't joined up for the Facebook group, you should really go over there because again, there's like a lot of great projects and tips. And I just love all the projects that I'm seeing over there. We have over 500 people, so head on over there, sign up. Boy, I sure wish I did have that Cool Whip jar because my hands are going to be stained red for a week. I probably should have put gloves on. Oh well, afterthought. I'm not going to do all these red. I'm going to do some pink. I'll do one more red, and then I'm going to switch over to the Petticoat Pink because I just want like a variety of looking beads. I don't want them all uniform. I just think it looks better when it's a little random. Okay, so I'm going to wash my hands and we're going to do these pink. Okay, so we're going to use some of this Petticoat Pink, and we're going to paint the rest of the balls in this color here. And we have to do the small pack too. Just trying to finish these up, and then we'll work on that small pack. Okay, so we have both balls, one in Petticoat Pink and one in the other red color. And now we're going to open the small packet and do some of those. Okay, so now I'm going to open up the smaller pack so we can do some of those while the bigger ones are drying. So now it's time to make the tassels. We're going to use this string here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a block. We're going to take the end of the string and just keep wrapping this around. We want a nice thick kind of tassel, so we're just going to wrap that around as many times as it takes to make it look full. Now once that's done, you cut the string, and then we're going to slide it off the block. Now with the end here, we're just going to kind of loop that around. You just want to wrap that around your string a couple times, and then we're going to knot it with the other end. I'm doing this twice just to make sure. Maybe we'll do that one more time. Now this is what it should look like, and we're going to take scissors and we're going to cut the loops on the other end, and then we're going to trim them up. All right, I think that looks perfect, so we're going to repeat the same thing for the other end. Now we're going to use a large embroidery needle, and we're going to thread the string through the eye of the needle. And now we're just going to start adding some of the painted balls. We're just going to stagger them and do them in a random pattern. We're just pulling the string to slide the balls up a little further. And we're going to start with taking one of our tassels. We'll take the needle with the remaining thread on the end, and we're going to go through the loops of the tassel. We're going to pull that real tight up to the bead. Then I'm just taking my needle and kind of going through that string, and we're going to tighten that up real tight. And then we're going to just go through that loop again, and we're going to tighten that up and make a good knot. Then we're going to push that knot into the bead, however we need to cut the string, and then we're going to hide that knot in the bead. I think that looks really good. We're going to cut any excess strings that might be hanging, and we're going to repeat the same process for the other side. I'm just trimming this up a little bit. So on the other side, you're going to push the beads up as far as you can just to make sure that they're real nice and tight. And then you're going to take the needle again and thread it. And you know the rest from there. You just repeat the same process you did on the other side. And that's how you make a beaded garland. I bought this picture at the thrift store. I don't like how they did the faux rust. It was only $3.99, but again, look at this. You could definitely tell it's a paint job and it's not actual rust. So we're going to take this outside and we're going to paint it. I'm using Rust-Oleum hammered iron. I love how this looks because it gives it such a dark kind of galvanized steel look. So I'm just going to finish spraying this and we're going to let it dry. Now while that's drying, we're going to make some hearts.
Now if you have some paper bags laying around, this is going to be the perfect project for you. So basically what we're going to do is make a heart out of this. So you want to start by going like this, folding that down like that, and folding that down like that. Okay, like so. Now once you have this formation, we are going to take a little masking tape You can get that anywhere. I got this at Meijer's. It was like $3.60. And basically what you're gonna do is form your heart with the masking tape. You're gonna hold it down with the masking tape, the shape. Okay, so once you have that looking like a heart, we are going to take some moss and glue it all on this whole heart that we've just made. I picked up this big bag of moss at Joann's. Now you can get moss at the dollar store too, but I picked up this big, bag at Joann's and I got it for 40% off. So you want to use a coupon on this if you're going to buy it from there. And let me just open up the bag. And like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to just hot glue some of this moss right on there. So we're just going to take a little of this out of the bag. We're going to put a little hot glue on here. And then we're going to press our moss down onto the heart that we just made. I'm using a low temperature glue gun. I would never do this if it was any higher. So as you can see, it's really taking formation here. We're just going to keep gluing the moss until we have a perfect heart. Just kind of like smush that together. And then if you see any couple little spots, just add a little more moss to it. But I think these are coming out pretty cute. I'm going to make a few more so that we can hang them. I'm going to just fill in those couple little spots where we still see the masking tape. See how inexpensive of a little craft this is? That is the perfect little heart, isn't it? So we're gonna just make a few more of these and we're gonna hang them. Okay, so now that we have our hearts all done, now we need to make something that they can hang from. So we're going to cut a little piece of wire and we're going to insert it right in the top there. All right, so in order to make this hang, we are going to cut a little piece of wire here. We're just going to insert it through the bag, through the tape. We're making like a loop right here. I'm just going to put a little hot glue to hold that in place. And then I'll smush down the moss around it. Okay, so now I have this little loop like this,
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a piece of this jute and we're gonna put it through our loop. And then we're just gonna tie it and then cut it. So now we have it on a hanger and on a loop so that it can hang. So we're going to do that with the rest of those, and then we'll put them on our little project. Now if you remember, we already sprayed our branch gold and we added our glitter glass using Mod Podge. Now to finish our project, what I did was I took our metal pitcher that we sprayed earlier. I stuck some bags in there because, you know, we're using plastic bags today. And then that stick that we sprayed gold and we put some glitter glass, I just hung a few of our little hearts here on it. Now you know I always like to finish my projects with a hang tag. These are the new hang tags out. These are the Valentine's Day hang tags, and you can find them in my Etsy store. I think I want to use this one here. 2 hearts that beat as one. We're just gonna cut that out. And then I bought this at the dollar store for $1. It's just a little hole puncher. Then we're gonna take some jute and we're gonna tie that around. And there you have a nice hang tag. All right, so this branch doesn't have anything on it, so I think it'll probably be the perfect branch for us to put our hang tag here. So I'm just gonna tie that around carefully so I don't disturb everything. So I think that looks cute on there. It just complements the green and it matches well with the still. So I'm just gonna back out here and show you what everything looks like. I really think this came out beautiful and it really looks elegant to me. It's definitely not a dollar store craft, but it's very inexpensive like one. In the last thrifting video, I don't know if you remember the blue tote that I totally passed over, but I was kind of bummed that I didn't get it. All right, you guys, I went back and it was still there, so I bought it. Normally I don't buy things with hearts, but being the occasion it is, we're gonna go with it. So first, I just need to take this off. We'll do a little sanding right here, and then we're gonna paint it. So we're just gonna sand that glue off. Now that's nice and smooth. I'm gonna put this on here and we're gonna paint the entire thing. So we're gonna use this True Burgundy color by Folk Art, and it's in matte. I'm just gonna put a little there. And we're just gonna let that dry. Now we're gonna do the exact same thing we did with the moss, but we're gonna use yarn. So let's make our heart form. And I bought this beautiful, beautiful
fleece yarn. It is just the perfect color and it is just so soft. So we're gonna start wrapping that around.
So you're just going to want to randomly keep wrapping that around. You're going to want to go around the side. You're going to want to go around the middle. You're just going to keep wrapping that yarn all the way around until all the masking tape is covered. So it's going to take just a little while, but just keep going around and around. And eventually at one point you're going to need to use the hot glue gun because at the top the yarn just wants to like come off. So just glue that in place and keep continuing to go around your heart till it's completely covered. Now once it looks thick enough and you've covered everything, you're going to cut the strand. Then you're going to use a little hot glue to hold it in place. And then you're going to tuck that little in behind one of the strands. I'm going to make one more heart so that we have 2 hearts that we can put in our tote once it's dry.
I have this little heart. I'm going to glue it right in the middle here. So we're going to take our hot glue gun and do that right now. That's right in the middle. I think that's pretty cute. And let's decorate our box. So we might put like one of these over here. And then maybe one over here. Let's see, maybe add a little greenery to it. And you know I gotta put my hang tag on there. Let's tie that on right now. Add a little greenery.
And look how cute that is. Now I hope you'll stick around because I have a few announcements. So it has been 1 year since I opened my Etsy shop. I just want to thank all of you who have bought things from my store. Thank you for supporting my small business. It truly means the world to me. Now, all next week, you get 15% off anything in my store as celebration of the 1 year mark. This is a great time to pick up any transfer decals that you've been wanting to get. I have them in the farmhouse. I also have them in the French. And today I put in sheep transfer decals. They're so cute. So again, that sale for 15% off will be running all next week. That starts on the 7th and it ends on the 13th. I'll leave a coupon code in the description. If you signed up for the newsletter, then you know that the Scroll Saw class has launched. I'm so excited about it. And if this is your first time hearing about it, I'm just going to give you a little preview of it.
So how I got into scroll sawing was from my mother-in-law. She used to do a lot of craft shows and she had a scroll saw and she taught me how to do it. And I have to admit, I was afraid, probably how you are right now, but guess what? It was the best thing I learned because I can make such cool stuff with a scroll saw and so will you. So we're gonna make pumpkins, we're gonna make cows, we're gonna make breadboards, we're gonna do a few different projects, and at the end of this class, you'll know exactly how to use the scroll saw and you will be up and running.
And here's a few of the projects that we're gonna make. So if you're interested in the class, I will leave a link in the description for you. And just as a reminder, we have a Facebook group now. It's called Flea Market Rescue Projects and Ideas Group. We have over 500 members since I started this a couple weeks ago. So if you're looking for inspiration, maybe you want to post your own projects, maybe you want some tips or tricks on how to do something, I hope that you'll hop on over there and join us because we'd love to have you. Well, that's it for this special episode of Flea Market Rescue. If you like this episode and you want to see more episodes like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell. I'm Kelly Sherry, and this has been Flea Market Rescue.